A Declaration of Financial Independence. In Assembly, July 4th, 2025. A Declaration. By the self-governed members of the allegedly defrauded, acting without borders, in defense of the inalienable right to economic liberty, on behalf of the governed whose consent has been betrayed. Let no system, governing body, regulatory agency, or financial institution stand immune to truth and justice. When, in the course of human affairs, the powers entrusted to safeguard our liberty and property instead conspire to strip us of our rightful possessions, violating the sacred principles of ownership and sovereignty clearly enshrined by our forebears, it becomes our solemn duty to rise, resist, and reclaim what is inherently ours. Our fundamental rights to property, transparency, accountability, economic liberty, equal opportunity, and financial stability are unalienable, as endowed by our Creator. Yet these rights have been systematically violated through deceitful manipulation, unjust seizure, and economic tyranny, leaving honest citizens impoverished, intimidated, and dispossessed. Transparency has been obscured, accountability has been evaded, economic liberty has been suppressed through arbitrary restrictions and invasive surveillance. Equal opportunity has been denied by discriminatory financial practices, and our security and stability have been undermined by reckless and dishonest monetary policies and unchecked financial abuses. We, therefore, declare unequivocally that we shall tolerate this betrayal no longer. Today, we restore the sacred principle that each individual's property, economic liberty, and financial sovereignty shall remain inviolable, safeguarded by uncompromising accountability, complete transparency, equal opportunity, and enduring financial stability, never again subject to the whims and abuses of corrupt institutions. On the eve of the semi-quincentennial, 249 years since the last tyrant was removed and dethroned, the chains cast aside, and the last stand declared, we find ourselves once again under siege, not by monarchs in gilded halls, but by unelected monolithic powers draped in bureaucratic authority, manipulating markets, suppressing dissent, and seizing what is not theirs to take. They do not govern by consent, nor serve with integrity. They rule through surveillance, coercive policy, and fear. They masquerade as protectors of order, yet weaponizing the very systems that they claim to uphold. The tools have changed, but the tyranny is familiar. Banks instead of thrones, asset freezes instead of muskets, subpoenas instead of shackles. History has returned to repeat itself, but this time we break the cycle. Let it be proclaimed before the tribunal of history that our cause is just and our determination unbreakable. We have borne witness to the abuses and overreaches of institutions entrusted with guardianship of the public, yet have betrayed their solemn duty in their lust for greed and pursuit of power. They have robbed livelihoods, dismantled dreams, and corrupted justice. We, having suffered the anguish of their transgressions, some reduced to poverty, some coerced, and others whose very lives were threatened, declare solemnly today that we shall endure it no longer. In steadfast defiance of their abuse and in fervent pursuit of fairness, liberty, and true economic independence, we forge ahead undaunted. We have meticulously compiled evidence of systematic deceit, manipulation, and fraud, including fraud upon the court, and we shall wield truth as our shield and justice as our sword. We reject all servitude, physical, political, or financial, for no institution shall be empowered with the right to enslave the free and the sovereign, nor to withhold one's right to prosper, including the servitude of a system where money is conjured from debt, issued with interest, and backed by the labor of the governed, yet controlled by those who risk nothing. We further reject the unchecked creation of currency, printed without limit, without accountability, and without regard for those forced to rely upon it. We reject inflation, obfuscation, and engineered scarcity. We reject deflationary instruments used to siphon value from the people, extracting wealth not through labor or merit, but through manipulation and deceit. we declare ourselves free from the chains of policy, regulation, and taxation. We do not consent. We will not comply. We declare that we have the full power to create and engage in commerce, build alternatives to legacy systems, develop decentralized trade models, uphold property rights without institutional gatekeepers, establish autonomous standards of value, and construct resilient systems that answer only to the governed. Our declaration is not merely symbolic, it is an uncompromising pledge. We will not relent, we will not yield, and we will no longer suffer under the tyranny of the few. Through courage, innovation, and unity, we, the people, shall reclaim our birthright of financial freedom, equality, and justice. We shall stand united and resilient, empowered by the innovative technologies and guided by an unyielding moral compass, determined to restore economic dignity and reclaim our right to sovereignty and freedom to prosper. Through blockchain, we forge incorruptible systems, not to bind the people, but to bind power to truth. We break their chains and forge our own. As their chains are forged to bind us to silence, ours are built to bind them to truth. We do so not with protest alone, but with resolve. Through decentralized barter systems and peer-to-peer value exchange, disintermediating corrupt institutions and eliminating counterparty risk through independently engineered, low-trust, and trustless systems. We do not beg access to their corrupted system. We render them obsolete. Therefore, from this moment, we call upon our ancestors, reaching back to the beginning of time. For in this moment, their purpose becomes embodied in our sovereign claim to the sacred principles they carried forward, as it is our duty to secure them with the same conviction through sacrifice as we pledge our lives to the cause of freedom for the sake of our descendants. Signed, the Unbreakable. Happy July 4th.